So I've been following the potato diet now for 4 weeks, and I want to talk about what I believe actually makes it sustainable, because most of what people focus on completely misses the point. Whenever this way of eating comes up, people immediately jump to things like satiety, calories, or whether potatoes are secretly some perfect food. And that framing never really explained why this has been the easiest stretch of eating I've had in years. What made this work for me wasn't discipline or motivation, and it definitely wasn't me falling in love with potatoes. It was something much quieter than that, and honestly something much less exciting than people expect. People tend to assume the potato diet works because potatoes are the most satiating food on the planet. And I'm not saying that's wrong, they are filling and obviously that helps. But I don't think that's the real reason this works, at least not for me. I've eaten plenty of filling foods over the years and still managed to overeat them without much effort. Protein-heavy carnivore, high-fat keto meals, massive portions of what people call clean food, all of that. Feeling full alone never stopped my appetite from constantly asking for more. What feels different here is that potatoes are boring enough to quiet the appetite, but filling enough that you don't feel deprived. You're not constantly negotiating with yourself. You're not trying to override hunger signals or push through discomfort all day. Your appetite just sort of settles, and that's a very different experience from fighting it. The biggest shift for me happened once I fully accepted that every meal was basically going to be the same. Not intellectually, but actually accepting it. Once I stopped expecting the next meal to feel different or hoping it would be more exciting, the food noise just faded. There were fewer decisions to make, fewer internal debates, fewer moments where I was asking myself whether I should eat now or save it for later. It wasn't exciting freedom, it was quiet freedom, and that quiet did more for my consistency than motivation ever has. It didn't feel like I was being good or on track. I just wasn't thinking about food all that much, which is not something I could say for a very long time. When food stops being entertainment, you finally see what hunger actually feels like, and that can be uncomfortable at first. For most of my adult life, eating wasn't really about hunger at all. It was stimulation, comfort, distraction, something to look forward to, or something to break up the day. When you strip that away, you're left sitting with sensations you've been covering up for a long time. The potato diet forces that confrontation. There's nowhere to hide behind flavour, novelty or excitement. At first that can feel flat or even a bit bleak, but over time it becomes grounding. You realise how much you're eating had nothing to do with your body actually needing food. This is where sustainability really lives for me. The moment I start adding oils, butter, cheese, or turning potatoes into something more hyper-palatable, everything shifts. It's the same ingredient, but completely different appetite. I noticed this very clearly over Christmas. I ate some seasonal vegetables like any normal person does. Nothing wild or excessive, and even that was enough to bring my appetite roaring back. What changed wasn't calories or volume. What changed was stimulation. The neutrality was gone, and with it went that calm relationship with food. And I'm all for a bit of variety, but the second I turn potatoes into fries or load them with condiments, everything changes. It's still the same food, but my appetite responds in a completely different way. That matters more than people want to admit. Sustainability doesn't come from pretending potatoes are magic. It comes from keeping food neutral enough that it doesn't constantly ask for more. Plain potatoes just don't hype you up. They don't trigger that just one more bite loop that modern food is built around. You eat, you feel satisfied, and you move on. That's incredibly rare now. Almost everything else is designed to keep you engaged, interested, and reaching for the next bite, even when you're already full. And I know some people don't like hearing that because it sounds boring, but boring food doesn't ask for more. That's the whole advantage. Once food stops being interesting, everything else in your day just gets easier. I don't think eating only potatoes long term is realistic for most people, and I'm not pretending otherwise. Where this really shines is as a baseline. It's a reset that shows you how little complexity your body actually needs. I've had a similar experience before, especially during my years on carnivore. Once you strip things right back, adding foods in later becomes intentional instead of reactive. You're no longer chasing novelty or responding emotionally to food. You're choosing what to add based on how it actually affects your appetite, your energy, and your mood. That awareness is hard to develop when everything else is always on the table. Some people ask me whether I miss other foods or social events, and honestly, my life is very quiet. I'm not going to restaurants, I don't get takeout, I'm not surrounded by people or food all the time. That simplicity makes this way of eating much easier. It gives my body the chance to settle into the same simple meals and let everything calm down. That context matters. This wouldn't feel the same if I was eating out constantly or navigating social food situations on a daily basis. The quieter your environment, the easier it is for your eating to be quiet too. I don't think potatoes are special in a magical sense. They're just filling, cheap, simple, and hard to overeat when you keep them plain. That combination is powerful in a world where almost everything else is engineered to override your signals. The sustainability comes from removing noise, not from adding rules. It works precisely because nothing exciting is happening. And that's a hard thing to accept when you've been taught that progress should always feel intense or dramatic. I'm coming up to 1 month now on the potato diet, which feels long enough to actually notice patterns. So in a few days I'll do a 1 month update and talk through what's actually changed for me. Things like weight loss, energy, and how this has felt day to day, without trying to turn it into anything dramatic. So when people ask me what makes the potato diet sustainable, this is my honest answer. It's not discipline or willpower, and it's not magic. It's the removal of stimulation and choice to the point where your appetite can finally calm down on its own. For me, boring food did something exciting, which was give me a quieter head and a calmer relationship with eating. And right now, that matters more than variety ever did.